Hello, my friends. I wanted to show you what I was doing comparing ChatGPT 4.5 Professional, which is a $200 a month account, with Manus free. And I will pay for more tokens if I need to, but I'm doing a research report side by side on both of them. And what it is that I did is we are looking for a client who is a pseudo startup. It's been around for a while, but now they're ready to ramp up. And they are in the weight loss industry using a pharma called Ozempic semaglutide, which is essentially molecularly similar to a snake venom. It's a long story. It's very controversial. It helps a lot of people. But if not done properly, there are some things to consider. So these are the things that we want to look at. So what we've done is we've submitted a simple question. I have a client who has the following website. We need to determine how to set up the best sales model and sales page to distribute to his clients in the weight loss pharma product, and I gave the products. He's an authority in this area. I explained that he's got experience. And I think on Manus, I also explained that he has a book. And then I took Andy Green, who is in our Move 37 area, and as a sales funnel expert, he has been in this space way more than me. So I consider him an authority about what a page or a funnel needs to do. Do you need to go to a webinar? Do you need to have a phone call? Do you need to send them to a weight loss clinic? Okay, so what's interesting is that Manus didn't really ask me any clarifying questions, but ChatGPT 4.5 Professional, $200 a month, did. To help you craft the best sales model and landing page for your clients, could you please share a bit more? So it wanted clarifying questions. Okay, you can see that Manus is running. It's been running about 26 minutes, and even on my free account, it's plugging away at a massive amount of research. It's a very large amount of research that it's doing. Okay, I answered these clarifying questions with a diatribe where I honed ChatGPT 4.5 in, and even gave an example of Henry Meds explaining that thank you for the clarifying questions, but I really want you to go out and find the answer to those questions you clarified because we're a startup. Okay, so what's happening is it says great, ChatGPT 4.5, Ozempic sales distribution websites, especially involving startup brands, which I did not want it to do. I did not ask it to think. I wanted general. Okay, I really didn't want it to decide for me to look up, and nor did I say they should look at startup brands. I wanted the general market. Whereas Manus just went out and started doing things. So part of what you get with a reasoning model that starts thinking is, it decides for me. And that's fine. I'll get back to you with a comprehensive breakdown of message strategies, because what I can always do is, here's the activity that it's doing. Okay, so you can see on this side, okay, it's go ahead and processing, and right here, you can just simply open up, when things are researching for you, you can just open up the window and it'll show you what it's doing. Now it's going through mobile health news. Okay, let's go ahead and see. Manus really wants to jack your browser and show notifications. I do not want that. Okay, so Manus is complete. It took about 26 minutes. Okay, you can tell it's complete right here. If I want, I could create a temporary website. Let's go ahead and see what kind of reporting I have here. You can share the replay. A lot of these companies are offering the replay because it's like show your work. And let's go ahead and look at the text. Here's the executive summary. Okay, I'm kind of looking through this. I'm scanning. So here it is trying to ask the questions that Andy Green gave me. Transparent disclosure. Here's some practice. This is really quite good. Yeah, these are behaviors that we need to execute on our site. Common approaches. Best practice. Recommendation for your client. Okay, and we are still processing. Currently, we're at 23 sources. Now, to be fair, I started Manus 15 minutes before I started 4.5. And so what will be really interesting is that the executive summary provided by Manus better than what we have here. Recommendations for the clients. What do I do if it doesn't work? This is actually a pretty good summary. Best practices. recommendations, feature client's personal 100-pound weight loss journey proximity. Okay. It's actually giving our client recommendations. I think he's going to be happy with the conversations. Now, it's not like I'm just going to hand this to the client. I'm going to have a conversation with them about why I'm choosing it. And this particular client is a person who's AI positive, so I'll be able to have these conversations with them. Safety concerns, direct addressing, is it going to harm me question. Quality assurance, is it tainted? Pricing section. Try it. This is pretty good. You have to. This does point out that Andy's questions as a frame, as a lens, to focus the AI, was extremely helpful. Sales model recommendations. Look at this. It's giving a full recommendation. Based on the competitor analysis, consultants, wow. It's really clear. It's doubling down on that. Yes, tiered service option. Medication only with standard support, standard medication with enhanced support and resources. Okay, so now I would talk to Dan about what's going on here and where we sit with our availability on this. Tiered service, medication only with standard support, standard medication with enhanced support and resources, premium medication with personalized coaching. Yeah, and we've looked at this one, which is kind of what we really need to do. Support regular check-in protocols. I think he has all that in place, or if not, we need to reiterate that. Noting the found model requires. Here's a membership fee. You can see happening over here. And then just so you guys know, I'm going to take both of these reports and then we're going to iterate more deeply in more advanced models, probably O3 and probably Claude. This is called a distillation approach. And by the time we're done, we will know the exact highest probability of what the frame I need to do with Dan as an authority in this area and for his book, and whether or not we focus on the membership area or his clinic front on how to do this. Because we're comparing pretty much as much as the market that matters. Here's a short-term action. Collect diverse testimonials. He's already got those. Minimum tiered action. Implement insurance navigation. So here's the conclusion. Let's go ahead and read the final report. Your client's unique position as someone who has personally lost 100 pounds plus using it over 10 years provides a powerful foundation for authentic, trust-based market approach. By directly addressing the 5 key questions potential customers ask and leveraging personal experience, your client can create a compelling sales model, a landing page that stands out in the competitive marketplace. The most successful competitor in this space prioritizes transparency, education, and that's what we're going to do as well. Okay? And here's the appendices. And I can go back and look at any of these. Okay? And now, so I just rate this. Chat 4.5 is still pulling back Reddit. So we can take these reports together, and I'll filter them through Claude, which does a remarkable job of framing, sales copy, and everything else. And so does ChatGPT. And then we'll do a combination approach. All right. So as we begin to, now one of the things I want you guys to be aware of is there are several tools where we can take the entire research report, parse it, and then I always put the research report in the client product folder on Google Drive. The reason I do that, there is Claude and other AI systems allow me to research these. And if I have everything organized in the para, project, areas, resources, and archives, which is a PARA system you can learn from me. This is also The Second Brain by Tiago Forte, just as a really easy way to start organizing your sales material and making sure you never really lose anything. Currently, we're into 37 sources, and let's go ahead and see how many sources we went through here. Okay, I'm going to actually try to download this. Let's export as a PDF. See how the PDF Maker works. And we'll open that up. Okay, so this executive summary does not include what it did. It just gives me show your work. This is the conclusion it drew from that. But if you want to go back and look at what it did, all you have to do is go to original. Looks like we're close to the end of this one, 37 sources. I'm kind of stalling so that we can see what we did. View all files in the task. Okay. Now I can save all of these. There's the executive summary. Lots of research here, guys. So it's basically like running a macro, like a sales parse with AI assistance on it. And if you want to, you can share the public link. Let's copy this link and see what it does. Okay. There you go. So it's kind of showing the whole research. That's cool. This is like the artifact in Claude. So I could share this with Dan. He could see like what it is that we're doing. Okay, 41 sources. We're getting close to the end here. Okay, I'm going to take that link, that share link. See how it's just replaying what it researched and how it came up with its conclusion. So basically I can show this to Dan and say, hey, here's what the robot did. It went through it based on our questions and it looked at all of this data. Okay, and it shows its work. So it's really showing its scraping work. Or it's so instead of viewing these as like scrapers, like we have in the date, this is really analysis. It's reasoning about what it discovered on these. And that's remarkably cool, guys. And we're just scratching the surface with this new agent environment. Okay, so what I'll do is I will take the Manus link and I will save it in my Teams area where I need to go and give it to clients. So when I'm at the mall today with my daughter, I can share it, call the client. And we'll just leave that one. And then I'll distill this. I'll do a part 2 video where I'm going to distill and refine even more things that I want to ask. So I can drill into the data that I have now. So these will become data clumps. And I'll be able to actually have a conversation, especially with ChatGPT 4.5. Okay. Once it has all this data, I'm then going to train it on the client's data and conversation, which is many weeks worth of conversation. And we can sort of guide, the situation together as where we need to go. We can have client feedback. We can use Andy's expertise, my expertise, Dan's expertise as the author of the book. And then, of course, on the web dev and anything that Daryl is doing on the project or any other team members will be able to drive insight. And it can guide the project without abdicating to the AI, right? Okay, let me just go ahead and I'm going to pause until this is done so you can see the results. Okay, one thing I would like to say is you can see right here that we're at up to 51, 52 sources, but it mapped out the use of stock photos or product images to highlight distinctions, which I think is interesting. So now it's looking at trust and compliance things. Still going. So basically what I'll do is I'll compare the executive summaries of both of these, and ChatGPT is generally going to have more power because it's trained on where we're trying to go. So it's using the window effect more, whereas Manus can't really use the window effect. It's using mostly just a deep research. The only data it has was my original question. That's really all it has. So it doesn't have a triangle. It doesn't have the ability to also compare to what it is we've done in the past and look at all that data. Okay, so it's just giving me a general insight based on searching several dozen websites. It's still very useful. What I expect that I'll get is the ability to have a conversation here about the whole project, because inside the project folders, like here, you'll be able to name, I already have a project folder for this, so it already knows what came before. It already knows some of the considerations that are specific to the client. It also knows a bit about the marketing conundrum that we have in this industry and how we're going to deal with that, such as you need a helpful guide to guide you through the process. Otherwise, your experience may not be as good as it should be. And that's all incredibly helpful. And we'll be able to, what I then do is once I have that information, I create experimental sales letters, and then I put those sales letters in Claude. And I usually write Gary Halbert letters to start, and then I might write slide presentations or John Benson sales letters, but mostly that will allow me to give it back to the client, in this case, who is an authority, so that when he makes a founders video or a welcome to our community video, that it follows the suggested recommendations, which we've already learned from, we kind of knew this, but it really is helpful guide. In other words, you need somebody to hold your hand through the process, and you don't want to do any hard selling or hard pushing on that. Similarly, there are other clients that we know of that are doctors that also pull them onto webinars if they're dealing with diabetes or blood sugar issues. So it just makes sense. But it's good to get that confirmation, and probably by doing these kinds of research projects, you also might pick up a few tips here and there. And for me, it's very useful because I'm not in the space. Okay, I need to know what the market is thinking. You can, with AI systems, how you can have a conversation with the ChatGPT. You can have the idea is having a conversation with your data when you dump the data in or you embed the data. Well, this is like having a conversation with the entire market. Okay, and if it doesn't go deep enough, you can just say, I want to go deeper and do another depth dive. So think about that. It's like treating the entire market as a data set that you can have a conversation with. And if you don't like where the conversation's going, you can steer it in a direction that's relevant to you, relevance realization, to your client or to yourself. Okay, this is really, really powerful stuff, guys. I'll be showing you probably step by step. If we get enough people who really want to learn how to do research and have conversations about it within a marketing context, we can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop this. And when I come back, part 2, I've got some errands I got to run today. Part 2 will go over exactly the contrast between this deep research report from ChatGPT 4.5 and also for Manus. We'll do a comparison. I'll show you how I distilled that data. And I'll also do a deep research report on another application, including the one that's available to you in our members area. And then we'll distill all of that. By the end of it, we'll have a really, really good idea what's going on in the market and what not to do in terms of the sales page in this space, because the space is a little, it's a little delicate or specific around certain things that your do's and don'ts, because it is a weight loss pharma product, and that's why you do deep research. I'll see you on the next video.